Next 20 minutes we will talk about a great thing called keywords, and in my opinion this is very magical because it's free, and when you use that tool right you could survive among the big players. So it's not just about CEOs or App Store optimization or something like that. It's just to get an idea how to find your own niche. It's maybe a little bit pragmatic, but it's how the business works. So, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Bjorn, and I'm now, since a few weeks, head of games at Tivola Publishing, so I'm responsible for all partners, all products, all markets. And as I said, I'm working for Tivola. Tivola is very old, even older than Google. This is very interesting. We were just a publisher, so we are not developing in-house, but we have experience in how the market works, what are the things we should do to be successful. Actually, we just focused on mobile, and there we have 30 million downloads, and the last game was Catapult Endless Stacking of 8-Bit Kittens. And when you see that title, you would understand, okay, this sounds a little bit strange, but it works. Okay, so that's the roadmap for the next 20 minutes. We just take a look on the mobile market. We talk about what are zombie apps and why this is important to understand the market. Then I just give you a few words about keywords and how I see keywords. And then for sure I will tell you how to be successful with that. Okay. The mobile market, when we take a look at the mobile market, we see, hey, this is a big cake, there's so much money, the revenues must be awesome for every company just when they get a small piece of that cake. And when you take a look to the estimations, you see there's even more coming up, more money for all of us. And additionally to that, there are new markets coming up with new opportunities, new chances. And I know that all of you have an awesome game idea. You think, okay, that game is missing in the market. And my lecture begins at the very first beginning when thinking about a new game. And when you start to think about a new game, you should think about, okay, is there really a need for that? Maybe you have a great idea, but it's just the perfect game for yourself. So is there someone out of your office, out of your country, for example, who would like that game? And okay, maybe you have a great idea of a multiplayer online game with tower defense, RPG, and so on. So is it possible for you to achieve? And after that, you should ask yourself, hey, it is very unique, but maybe it is too unique. So maybe you think about that and say, yeah, I have an awesome idea, and you release a game and it won't work, and it won't work even because of the mobile market. When you take a look at these numbers, in 2014 there were just two big players who nearly own the half of the 10 top grossing apps in the US. Okay, impressive. But the next thing, it makes me a little bit afraid of the mobile market, because 8 of 10 apps were also published in 2013. So there was no app in 2014 which has the power to kick them out. So there are 8 apps in the App Store which are very strong, and nobody has a chance to kick them out. Okay, and when you take the last thing and you see there are 960,000 zombies, that means that there are so much apps out there, 80% in 2014, that are not listed in the iOS App Store. That means that when you have a game, maybe the awesomest game in the world, and you are not listed in the App Store, people could just find you when they know your title or your keyword. And when that is not good enough, you get no downloads at all. So maybe you have a good game, you throw it into the market and you're on the right side and think, hey, my game is even better than Candy Crush or all the other great titles. But nobody plays it. They play Candy Crush and not your match 3 candy game. So discovery is the key for that. You couldn't convince people which are not directly see your product. It's totally equal what product it is or what kind of game or what sort, what features, it's totally equal because when you're not listed and nobody finds you, there's nobody to convince. And when someone goes into the App Store, and customers always looking for awesome games, they type in a keyword. They type in something they like to have. So keywords are very necessary to catch the customer before you even can convince them. So let's take a look, what are keywords, what's the magic of keywords? Keywords could be a word, could even be a phrase of the target group. They are the ingredients of your idea. So everything which has to do with your game could be a keyword. And when you have a few keywords, they are easy to compare. I will show you that later. And to define good keywords for your game helps you to reduce the complexity of your game. So think about just 10 keywords which describes your very unique game. And when you think about it, you have a short tail and a long tail. So short tail means just puzzle, match 3, hidden object. There are a large amount of people who are looking for that, but this is very difficult because when you type in puzzle, for example, you will not find the indie games. And the long tail is more specific, like medieval comic puzzle, you find just the medieval comic puzzle games. And when you try to rank on that, you should be the first one. This is just an example of coffee. So when you type in coffee, you will surely find something like Starbucks or anything else, a big company. But when you are looking for medium roast coffee beans vacuum pack, there's maybe a vendor which uses that niche to get that amount in the long tail of people. So maybe there are just 1,000 people per day, but they find this vendor. Okay, when you are using bad keywords and you get a feature, for example, this will be very cool, but after the feature, you get lost. So this is very feature-driven. These are examples from ourselves, by the way. So when you use good keywords, you don't need a feature, you don't need user acquisition or something like that. This is a metric for even more than 2 years, and there are constant downloads because it's statistical. It's statistic. People are looking for that keyword we used. So how to find your keywords? First of all, take a look at your target group. And you said, okay, I like to target kids 7 years old. Maybe they have a specific language, or when you have a special category, you are strong in hidden object games, or maybe in tower defense games. They expect special features, special mechanics, special settings, for example, and you could use that, and you must keep that in mind to find your keywords. And then go a step back, think about, okay, what's your game based on? Is it really unique? And then what is unique? Or is it just similar, like Candy Crush, like Nibblers, for example? It's nearly like Candy Crush. So maybe they try to get the similar keywords. Or is it totally different, and where are they different? So maybe I could make a long tail out of a short tail keyword with using other words, my USPs, for example. Or is it just awesome? So, and you could use everything for a keyword. Even when you go to the bottom and see uniques, that means you could create your own keywords, like Vuga as a brand or SimCity. Vuga was never ever a keyword before that, but now when you type in Vuga, you find all of Vuga's games, for sure. Dr. Panda, it's just the doctor before the panda, and now you find all the Dr. Panda apps. or you create a new one like Pawsome. But keep in mind, you could try to implement Vuga, for example, in your keywords, but this is forbidden. It could be work, but this is forbidden, so even for trademark things, don't use that. And oh, yeah, this is very important, and begin with one language for your target group. When you said, okay, my core market is UK or US, just do that in English in the first step. And then check the effectiveness. That means check the search volume. Is there really a demand? Is there a potential interest in my niche, in my keyword? Then check the competitors, the quantity, how many people try to rank on that keyword, and then the quality. Is the demand really fulfilled? Are there good games to rank on that? Or will my game better than there? How do we do that? First of all, you have Google Trends. It's a free tool, and you can compare keywords. So here I thought about a game with a main character. So what main character should I use? A dwarf, an elf, an orc? In the UK, the dwarf is very strong. But in the US, on the right side, you see dwarf and elf, it's nearly the same. But the orc is always, nobody interests in orcs, for example. Then go to the keyword planner from Google. It's also a free tool. You can check the potential demand. That means how many people types in exactly that keyword in Google. We are not in the App Store. We are just before that. So here on the left side, you see, okay, I already typed in dwarf and troll. And see, oh, troll is very good. Maybe I should use a troll for my game. But then I expand that in the long term, and I see, okay, troll warrior is less than the dwarf warrior because the troll could be the internet troll or everything like that. So be careful for that. The next step would be go into the app stores and type in the exact, like the dwarf warrior. And you see, okay, how many people are there, how many competitors, and just use your keyword, check the games, and you see, okay, what are the expectations of my customers when they are looking for such a dwarf game, for example, and how difficult this should be. You can see that on the star rating. Is the demand fulfilled? Maybe you find thousands of dwarf warrior apps, but they all get 1 star because they said, oh no, I think a dwarf game is that and that. So do review mining, see what works not with the best and worst reviews. And then go to YouTube and just take a look in gameplay design and quality. You could also use premium tools. Here, for example, Sensor Tower. It's like a black box, but it gives you the suggestions, the relations, the trending searches, and it shows you the traffic, the difficulty, and the quantity in the app stores. So when you type in dwarf warrior, you see, okay, how difficult it is to rank on that word. And here, for example, this is a game I told you, Catapult, and I just take a look if I rank with Catapult. Where do I rank with Catapult? When when a customer enters Catapult in the App Store, we rank very high. But this was just in feature time. So now we would be not as good as at the screenshot. So compare everything with your power then. Check your existing games. Maybe you use strong keywords and people know you, like this Dr. Panda, so use that keyword in your upcoming games. And maybe you have enough money to boost the keyword. As I said, it's nearly as a third thing, the relationship to the stores. When you get a feature, your keywords also boost because you drive traffic on them. And yeah, how to be successful? As I told you, with keywords come also expectations and relevance. So use just keywords which describes your game. You could also use, when you see the trends nowadays, Back to the Future or Star Wars, for today maybe, but when you are ranked on Star Wars, but you have a tower defense game with trolls, nobody would nobody would give you a good review or something like that because the expectations were totally different. Be unambitious and easy to spell. For example, when you see the two titles of our games, Laboratory was a very, very early game, and the upcoming game is called Cat Hotel. When you see Laboratory, you have no idea what this game could be. It could be everything. It could be a hidden object game. It could be a game with some action in it. It could be a puzzler. No idea. And autocorrection is a bitch for such a title, because when you type in Laboratory, the App Store will think, okay, he means laboratory. So nobody would find that game, even if you tell your friends, hey, just check Laboratory, didn't find it in the App Store. So think about it, and when you see Cat Hotel, you know what the game is about. It's a game about a cat hotel, and you have to manage it. And then evolve yourself. Just release it, doing a soft launch, try it out, track your keywords, and find your difficulty level. What are your powers? How short could your keyword be? And for sure, look for trends like seasonal things or something like that. And then strengthen your spells. So do optimization, do review mining. Perhaps all your customers talking about the black cat in your game. So maybe black cat is a good keyword for you with the upcoming patch. And think about the language of your target group. As I told you, check similar topics, competitors, what are they using, and translate it for each country. That means use the meaning, not just the word. So be sure that it's not coming to some strange things. Like, we just talked about that. There's a car called Mitsubishi Pajero. In Spain, that means wanker, for example. So be sure you translate the meaning, not just the word. And yeah, try out. In our game, Ferrero, Golden Amulet, for example, we just try out a new keyword, because Ferrero's Golden Amulet could be everything. It was a hidden object game, so we just implement hidden object in the title. It's now called Hidden Object Ferrero's Golden Amulet. It's a no-brainer, but it works, as you see. And then expand your spellbook. Like Dr. Panda and so on, use the same keywords to strengthen them all, do cross-promotion, create brand sequels, and for sure, listen to your community. Another example, Pet World. We have a game called Wildlife America, and we just said, okay, this is Pet World Wildlife America, because we have another Pet World game, and in every country we get a very cool boost just for using the same keyword as in another game of us. So where are the right places? As I told you, it is very easy. The title, the description on Google Play, the title and extra keywords on iOS, title keywords on Amazon. And yeah, this is like a black box, so you have to check that. So the takeaways: discovery is as important as the game. There's nobody to convince when they don't find your game. In my opinion, keywords are the most helpful tool, because when you have good keywords, they help you to find the right customer, and they give you an amount of downloads just for nothing. They are for free. And always test, measure, optimize, test, and yeah, you just need to be creative and check it, and you could do it for your own just for free. And as I said, this is all scratching on the surface. When you have one guy who does it every day, full-time is a full-time job. You could even use agencies, but this costs a lot of money. So when you're doing that, when you're creating a game just for 1, 2, maybe 3 days, or let's be a week, this would be very powerful just for an indie developer. Are there questions?
Which platforms do you normally use in order to see like the amount of traffic? Because for example, what you showed us about Google is not very accurate, because like you cannot know how much traffic a certain word has inside Google Play. Like, So like there are many companies that provide information about it, like for example like Sensor Tower. Do you use these metrics? So
Yeah, we are actually using Sensor Tower. Yeah, that's right. But we are experiment a lot and just see the results. It's so easy. So we just on Google Play it's very easy because you could change this without a patch. On iOS you must patch the game for changing the keyword, so it takes time. But on Google Play you can just switch the titles in every language day by day.
how much time you wait after you update the title, for example?
Just a few days, normally a weekend or something like that. Because
And you see an impact directly?
Yeah, and you see directly if it works or if it doesn't work.
And do you think there is like a difference if you have many, like if you have a long description, it's not too much and Google starts to lower your rank if you have too many words, or for example in the title name?
Yeah, that's also, that is what I call the black box. It's very difficult to understand that, but yeah, you have to try it out. So you make the description, and then when your game is live, try to look for it in the store itself, if you rank or not.
Hi.
Between the line, I understand that there is a big impact. I mean, the review is a big impact on the results, right? The review of the users.
Yeah.
So, how much impact? I mean, it's
Yeah,
more,
it's just
more important than keywords. Or?
Yeah, it's just a small thing. So when you gather all reviews and you get a feeling what are your community talking about, like I said, when they all talk about the black cat or a special name, or they give you a short term of the game, like in League of Legends it's always called LOL and everybody knows LOL, so I guess LOL is one of the main keywords nowadays. So just get a feeling, and yeah, it's quite impossible. You couldn't say, okay, this will work or that will not work, but you could easily try it out, and you have to do this review mining, even not just for the keywords, even just to get a feeling what patch should coming up next and understand the community. It's not just for the keyword, it's just a thing which happens by the way.
Related to that, I mean, the content that is written by the users in those review.
Yeah.
This rate you on keyword as well. I mean, if everybody says cats in the review, I mean, I'm gonna be ranked on cats as well, just because they said it, they write it down.
I don't really know. I don't think so.
So here's the thing: you want to be discovered, right? You want people to find your app so that they can comment on it. So you got to start someplace with the keywords.
Yeah, this is for
right?
sure. But what's happening
I know what you
after
mean.
that?
He asked if the reviews are relevant for the keywords.
Exactly.
I'm not sure about that, but just use that in the normal keyword or in the title maybe. The game with the black hat. Just try it out. When everybody
So
talks about that,
we don't know if,
just use it for
if
the
the
title.
subscribers help
No.
us to get better results.
No.
Okay.
I work with a lot of indie developers, and I test out a lot of games, and they'll send me their title, and I say, go find it on Google Play, and I can't.
Yeah.
And I'll write back to them, and I say, I can't find your game. Can you please send me the link? So obviously, it's a brand new game. They haven't gotten to the point of doing keywords, and it really does make a difference.
Yeah, and when you take a look even on AAA title or title that works, they use exactly that, like Battlefield, Grand Theft Auto, Cut the Rope, Where's My Water. It's always very simple, and you know what the game is about. Or like Nibblers, we talked about that, a little bit strange, but it's match, fruit, puzzle, I guess.
Did anybody here not know what Nibblers is? It's a new game from Rovio. I didn't know that. I wouldn't have thought that from the name.
Yeah. It's a Candy Crush clone, and it's called Puzzle, Fruit, Match, or Match, Puzzle, Fruit. I don't know, but 3 keywords.
Well, thank you very much for your talk.
Thank you.
Very enlightening.